Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Cambridge Veritas. If we are live, please do show me a big thumbs up. Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome to Cambridge Veritas. My name is Krishnatrya, and you can call me Krish. I'm your IELTS trainer. I've been teaching IELTS for the last 15 years now. I became an IELTS examiner in the year 2016, and I have dedicated myself to helping students master IELTS writing. Not just writing, but this is what the session is about today. The title of today's session is IELTS Writing Task 1, Feedback. Now, I know a lot of you struggle with IELTS Writing Task 1, but is it for general category or academic category? It is for academic category. So it is report writing. And in this session today, we're going to be looking at, let us have a look at the agendas. We're going to be looking at 4 important things. If you stick with me until the end of the session, this is number 1 point that you will learn. We're going to be looking at precise map. So when there are changes in map, precise map changes require one important element. So in this session, we're going to be looking at what that element is. If this question comes in your IELTS writing, you need to know this. Without this, you'll not be able to score higher. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, we're going to be looking at what is this factor that makes or breaks everything about your writing score. We're going to be looking at that one factor. And point number 3, we will learn to use something for location reference. And to give you a little bit of a hint, it's called directions. What kind of directions? We're going to be looking at in today's live session. And besides that, we're also going to be looking at what kind of writing, dash-based writing, score the most. So what is that form of writing that in my experience of 15 years I have seen students scoring the most, especially in writing task 1. So stay tuned with me, and we're going to be covering these 4 things in today's session. If you're able to see me and hear me, just show me a thumbs up. Thank you, Aldrin Paul, for letting me know. Thank you. So let's get started. Here we go. First of all, let's have a look at the question for today. If you want, you can pause the video to read the question, or I'm going to read it with you live. 2 maps show the change of a coastal town. So there are 2 maps here, and they're showing the change that has happened in a particular region of a coastal town. And it's called, the name is Pentland. From the duration is 1950s to the year 1950 to the year 2007. Now, before we proceed further, I want you to tell me something important here. Have a look. What kind of a question is it? Option number 1, is it a process diagram that is showing different steps and stages? Option number 2, is it a map which is based on comparison that shows changes over time? And option number 3, is it a graph or chart that shows numerical data? Looking forward to your answers in the chat box. Let me know. Quickly, we got 14 students watching us right now. Let's get going. Here we go. What is the answer? 3 seconds. The correct answer is number 2. These are 2 maps. We are making a comparison between them. And the idea is we're showing the changes that have occurred in them over time. So there's one student who's written an answer for this question. And the answer to this question is on the right-hand side of the screen. Now, if you look at this answer is not an ideal answer that I always mention. This answer was written by this student who had joined us in the beginning of the masterclass, because we generally play this game where we look at the before and the after. The purpose of today's session is I'm going to dissect this paragraph-wise, and you'll be able to see how an examiner gives feedback to a student and what feedback I'm going to give to this student to improve her score from what it is right now to something better. So let's get started. First of all, we're going to be reading the introduction. If you want, again, pause the video right now. I'm going to read the introduction for you here. If you want to read it yourself, feel free to pause it. The given map displays the changes of the past 57 years in coastal town, which is also known as the Pentland. All right, cool. The moment I read it, by the way, when we show you a sample answer, I do not make any changes whatsoever in it in terms of the grammar aspect, task response, lexical resources, or coherence and cohesion, etc., or grammatical range and accuracy. So what are we going to do about it? I'm going to analyze it from all the 4 factors of the band descriptor. And what are those? Perfect. I can see Donna's answer and Paul's answer as well. Perfect. So the 2, ladies and gentlemen, the 4 band descriptors are task response, task achievement. Because it is task 1, it is ding, 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 task response. Number 2, grammatical range and accuracy. Number 3, it is lexical resources. And number 4, coherence and cohesion. So first of all, I want to give feedback to the student on task achievement. What are the different components that this student has been able to achieve? I want you to see that I've highlighted 2 important bits here. The given map is in bold and display is in red. That means there's something goofy about it. For task achievement, I have given this feedback to the student. Please have a look. Paraphrase the task. This person is able to paraphrase the question because when you write the introduction, you always paraphrase the question. So this student has done it really well, paraphrases the task, but there's something not right. Nowhere in the question is it mentioned 57 years, and that's an unnecessary calculation. You don't have to do that. Stick to the years. Don't need to be creative. Stick to the years. There's something grammatically wrong about it. Of the past 57 years. It is 2025 going on right now, and the student wrote of the past 57 years. Well, we're in 2025, and the ending was 2007. So this calculation is unnecessary and does not make sense. So that's related to task achievement. Coherence and cohesion. Please have a look. The introduction is easy to understand despite the errors, but the most important thing is this person could use better synonyms and most importantly, varying sentences. What do I mean by that? 95% of the reports that I mark, especially when it comes to task 1, actually start with the given chart, the given data, the given bar graph, etc., etc., etc. The most important thing to remember here is stop using the word the given. It's very, 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 very basic. Instead of using the word the given, you can say the provided map or diagram or illustration. Of course, there are a gazillion other ways of saying it, but this is one example of it. Again, the word display is a very, very common word. Remember lexical resources? You have to use uncommon vocabulary. So display could be replaced with the given map or the provided map illustrates or depicts or presents. So that's my response to task achievement and coherence and cohesion. Now let's move to the next part, lexical resources. Again, I think we've spoken about it before, but allow me to elucidate. There's very limited use of higher level vocabulary, as I mentioned on the last slide. What is GRNA? Everybody? What is GRNA? It's grammatical range and accuracy. So one of the striking features that you see that there's something wrong about this introduction is there's a minor error of 57 years. No, I'm not talking about the calculation. I'm talking about there's no space between 57 years. Now, one may think, well, can we just not bypass it? No, we cannot do that because it shows that your punctuation knowledge is limited. So it needs to have space. As a matter of fact, if you want to make it more academic, it needs to have the hyphen as well with it. I repeat, it needs to have the hyphen as well with it. So that's my response to lexical resources and grammatical range and accuracy. Okie dokie, let's move ahead. So that's for the introduction paragraph. We will now move towards the second paragraph or the first paragraph, which is this. Now, I have made a few points bold and I have highlighted a few other things as well. I hope you're able to see the screen properly. Bravo. I'm going to read it out loud for you. By comparing the 1950 and 2007 maps of Pentland, certain developments are noteworthy. It can be observed that a lot of people moved to coastal town by 2007 as the infrastructure and facilities became accessible for them in Pentland. Okay, cool. Good attempt, but there's something that I want to highlight. Please have a look. Now this person is saying certain developments. Tell us what developments. You have to be specific. You can't just say certain developments. You have to be able to convey your ideas specifically. It's very vague and it tells an examiner that you don't understand it and you don't know how to communicate it. So tell what those specific certain developments are. So that's point number one that I see immediately when I read it. After that, now have a look. You have made a point here, certain developments. When it comes to process writing, you should be able to now elaborate on certain developments. But do you know, this student, she's not doing that. She is actually bringing in a new point altogether. I'm not saying it is wrong, but it is not the formula one should use for process writing. This is part one of the paragraph. Then support it, give examples, elaborate on it, give evidence. But this person, the student here, is not doing that. So let's see what I've mentioned here. The first thing that I mentioned is, if you use phrases like certain developments are noteworthy and a lot of people moved, again, if you see here, a lot of people moved. Again, please be specific and tell how many, because that number is very, very vital. So you can't just make general comments. You need to be able to specify using examples. I repeat, you need to be able to specify using examples. So that's supremely important. Make sure to do that. Never make general statements. Always specify using evidence. Now, what is the meaning of coherence and cohesion? For those of you who are looking at it for the first time, come on, let me know in the comment section. Like chat. What is the meaning of coherence and cohesion? 3 seconds in one word. Coherence and cohesion means, I'm going to write it here for you, have a look. The overall flow. Okay? It means the overall flow, not flaw, flow. And it also means something. Linking two ideas together. So it also means the linking that you're using in it. Okay? I repeat, the overall flow and the linking as well. So let's see here. My comment here is to the student. There's very basic linking used. Now, when I mean basic linking, I want to highlight the word by, okay? I also want to highlight the word as. The very basic linking devices, very common, too basic as a matter of fact, elementary level. And most importantly, there is no logical flow. This is idea 1, not elaborating on it. This is idea 2, out of the box. So there's no logical sequence. Now, we are done with task achievement and coherence and cohesion. Let's talk about lexical resources. Now, I want you to focus that I've highlighted a few things. Are noteworthy. Noteworthy is a nice word, all right. Can be observed. Cool, fair enough. A lot of people moved. A lot of. Do you think it is formal or is it informal? Come on. Thank you, Suraj. Short and simple. That's nice. What do you think? A lot of people moved. Is it formal or informal? Can I tell you a little secret? It's informal. It's not academic English. So the lexical resource has got to be this. Have a look. A lot of people should change to significant population growth. Or if you even don't want to use the word growth, totally fine with it. But use something like significant population and not a lot of people. Now, became accessible also is informal. So a few things that one has to keep in mind is the language of the vocabulary. It's not WhatsApp language, WhatsApp English. It is IELTS academic English. You know, there are so many reels on internet these days that make fun of, you know, we don't talk anymore songs. And there are so many reels where students talk about how simply something can be said and then the IELTS academic language of it. It's actually true. What is GRNA? Grammatical range and accuracy. I want you to see here, this person has used same kind of tense a lot of times. For example, can be observed, are noteworthy. What kind of tense is it? It's called passive. Now, to give you a very simple example, I will give you chocolates tomorrow is active voice. But if I say, the chocolates will be given to you tomorrow by me, is passive. And passives are called complex sentences. If you use them, you get better marks. But I'm not going to give this person does not actually get marks for it. Can you tell me a reason for it in the chat box? What do you think would be the reason? Very simple. What do you think is the reason? Too much use of the same tense. In grammatical range and accuracy, you have to show variety and not using the same thing again and again, again and again. Again, it shows you have limited range of grammar. So to be able to get a higher band, have different tenses in place. Maybe use a simple present tense. That's fine as well. You need to be able to show variety. That's all that matters. All right? So that was about paragraph 1. We're done with introduction paragraph. We're also done with paragraph 1. We're now going to be moving towards paragraph 2. So here we go. By the way, please do share this reel with your friends and family who you think can benefit from IELTS writing feedback live that happens every night at 9 p.m. So do make sure that you share it. Here we go. Let's share the knowledge. Paragraph 2. If you want to pause the video, feel free to. However, I'm going to be reading it out loud for you now. Overall, there's something wrong there, and I want you to tell me in the chat box, what do you think is wrong here? Overall, the main structure of the town with one main road with two bisecting roads, a nice word here, bisecting roads remained similar, whereas the industrial area of 1950 located in the northwest region of the map. Okay, there's something that I have pointed out here, that I'd like to point out here. Look at this. Northwest region. Just focus here. I'm going to be coming back to it later. Northwest region of the map was replaced with a park, swimming pool, multi-story car parking, and some shops in 2007. Nice. The changes being expressed are good. The car park on the east side of the road was removed, and towards the right side of the eastern road, many new apartments and shops were constructed. Towards the southeast side of the Pentland was mainly the grassland in 1950, but with time, many houses were built in that corner. Rest of the grassland area of the southwest corner of Pentland was converted into a cinema. Also, the sea was developed into yacht marina covered by a half-circled road. This is the last paragraph, by the way. Now, there's something not right about it. Have a look at task achievement B, which means answering all the questions of the task. It is providing specific details, which is fantastic, very good, you know, replaced with park, swimming pool, Nice, I like this feature, it's good. But it is not using specific explanation regarding location. Now, you may say, am I being strict? I'm not. It is actually true. This person is not using specific explanation for location. What do I mean by that? In the beginning of the lesson, I told you we will talk about some type of directions. We call them cardinal directions. I repeat, we call them cardinal directions. For example, when you say right side of the eastern road, let's say east is this way. So does that mean the top right side of the eastern road or the bottom right side of the eastern road? Because if I'm not mentioning if it is top or bottom, I am not being specific. So in order to mention what side of the road, you need to add the word top or bottom. So is it the top right side or is it the bottom right side? And this type of direction, these type of directions, ladies and gentlemen, are called, hello, they're called cardinal directions. Once again, what do we call them? Cardinal directions. So you need to be able to mention that. So that thing is not mentioned here that I want to highlight. Now let's have a look at coherence and cohesion, overall flow and linking. Sentences again are disconnected. One idea, new idea, new idea. Nope, you don't do that. One idea, supporting sentence. Second idea, supporting sentence. That's how the flow goes. And the devices can be better. What is the meaning of devices? Connectors. Instead of just using the word overall, again, very common. Again, one thing that you see here is after overall, you need to put a full stop. Hello. After overall, you need to put a full stop. If you don't, the punctuation sign is missing and it is incorrect. So there's a problem with the grammatical range there as well. So use better devices like in contrast, moreover, etc. Let's move ahead. Very quickly, in lexical resources, if you see bisecting, constructed, they're quite appropriately used. I really liked it. On the other side, when you say right side in many new apartments, it is too simplistic. So how can you change it? You can say eastern section or numerous residential development. It just makes it a little more academic, and that's what we're talking about here. Now, when it comes to grammatical range and accuracy, there's a lot of problem. This person is not using one thing again and again. It's incorrectly used. Can you guess what that is? Come on, 15 people are watching. You're not answering my question. Hello, let's make it interactive, guys. Grammatical range and accuracy is missing tenses. What kind of, articles. There's good sentence variation on this page, but simple, with combinations of simple and complex sentences, but several article-related problems are coming. For example, have a look here. The grassland should be simple grassland. You don't add the word the here. It is redundant. On the other hand, rest off should be the rest of. Rest off in itself is wrong English. And finally, the sea, it's not the sea, it is the seafront. So there are 3 grammatical mistakes in this portion. Perfect. So, for us as examiners, the most important thing is this, and that is the band descriptors. We have been trained to use it with devotion. It's like a holy scripture for us. Now, if you look at it, I want to highlight band 7 and 8 for you. No, I'm not saying that I'm going to give this person band 7 or 8 or whatever. I want you to see something. Band 7 says you need to have a clear overview. You need to have a clear progression. You need to use a lot of cohesive devices. Was this person doing that? Band 7 also says you need to be able to use less common words. Yeah, bisecting is a less common word and this person used it. That's nice. But you need to show variety in that as well again. And then towards here, you'll be able to see you need to use a variety of sentences, complex sentences. No, it wasn't happening everywhere. Towards the end, it started happening, but not throughout the passage. And grammar and punctuation are generally well controlled and error-free sentences. This wasn't happening. There was a little bit of use of less common vocabulary. There was no clear progression. There was no range of cohesive devices. There were no key features covered. Different ideas were just scattered here and there. And it didn't have a clear overview. So what is my verdict? What am I going to give this person? For task achievement, based on the band descriptors, I'm giving this person band 6. For coherence and cohesion, again, I'm giving this person band 6. It did not meet the requirement. Lexical resources was good, but again, there was certain vocabulary that had error in it. That means 2 simplistic words were there as well. So again, for that, I'm not going to deduct the mark, but we give this person band 6. Grammatical range and accuracy, again, is band 6. So the average of all of this is, ladies and gentlemen, please have a look, band 6. So what do we understand from today's lesson? Let's have a look at our favorite thing, and that is our lovely wisdom tree. There are 4 things that you have to remember when you write your IELTS writing task 1. Point number 1, use specific directional language and avoid ambiguous location terms. Don't say just the right-hand side of it. Is it the top right-hand side or the bottom right-hand side? You need to be specific. We also call it cardinal directions. Point number 2, make sure that you're using articles correctly. Super important. A and the are the most common article mistakes that people make. Learn to use it correctly. Don't use it incorrectly. Next, make sure to support whatever you are saying. It's fine. No observation is wrong. But please make sure that you add examples, evidence, and avoid assumptions completely. And finally, the last one is, here we go, always start with precise description and don't use overgeneralization or vague introduction, like 57 years, remember that? So this is something that we learn from today's writing task 1, IELTS academic category. I hope you enjoyed this live stream with me. And there are two important things that I want to ask you to do. Please have a look. First of all, do scan this code and let me know what you think about today's live stream. Did you enjoy it? What did you learn? What would you like to learn tomorrow night at 9 p.m.? We go live every night at 9 p.m. So do let me know. Yeah. Or you can also let me know in the comment section as well. Point number 2. Can you see how close this particular essay was to band 7? But the most important thing that we understand here is, I want you to notice here. The most important thing to understand is, this person is very close to band 7. In my 7-day masterclass, I'll show you exactly how to bridge this gap from, let's say, what this student was missing to examiner proven techniques. And if you're interested, you can tap on the link in the description of our 7-day IELTS Writing Masterclass. We keep on getting updates for the students. If you go down, you'll be able to see the syllabus of the things that we cover in the masterclass. But there's something special, which I mentioned yesterday as well. You also get a final report exclusively made by me so that you can save months and months of waiting in queues for your visa for traveling abroad and save a lot of money as well. But the most important thing here is you get a feature on my Veritas app when you enroll. It's called Writing Analyzer. You can submit your essay and you get feedback there and then based on your writing, and you can analyze your improvement even outside of the class hours. And there's something more special. It's called Speech Analyzer. It means you can take live interviews and get feedback on your speech, accent, pronunciation, intonation, fluency, grammar, and vocabulary. And the most interesting thing that I like is you can actually get to know your IELTS score as well. What your IELTS score is, which I think is the best part of it. So do join me in this masterclass. And for that, just simply go down, tap on Join Your Batch, fill in your details, and you'll be escorted to your My Veritas app, where you'll be able to connect with me and we'll work together to solve your IELTS writing. And that's all. Thank you very much for being a part of this live stream. I look forward to see you again tomorrow. And until then, take care, God bless, and all the best with your IELTS writing. Ciao, ciao.